Hello, 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 Angel here. Welcome to or back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me. So today I'm doing a comparison of Sam Rook's decks. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different decks that I've got from the same creator. And I decided to compare the decks, the newer ones that have come into my collection, to kind of connect and bond with them in a different way. And I thought by comparing all the decks together, that would be a great way to do it. So I thought taking you on the journey would be a good idea for anybody maybe who owns these decks or maybe is thinking of purchasing these decks. So this little mini series is going to be split into several different videos. We're starting with the majors, then we're doing the cups and the pentacles, then it will be the turn of the swords and the wands, and then we'll be looking at the guidebooks. So with that in mind, let's jump straight in, and we're starting with the boxes. So what to expect if you purchase one of these decks. So I'm going to start with the Rainbow Moon Tarot. This was the first deck that I purchased pretty much as a whim. And when I got it home, oh my goodness me, it was like love at first sight. So there's also a indie version of this deck. It's called the Marble Moon Tarot, just FYI. So this is the mass market version of this deck. I'm going to be showing you all of the mass market versions of Sam Rook's decks. This is kind of the reason that the love affair with this creator's work started. I mean, this is just gorgeous. So yeah, that's the Rainbow Moon Tarot. The next one that came into my collection was the Macabre Tarot. Love the shape of this box, like a mini coffin. When you open this box, it's supposed to go, but mine doesn't because the tab for the battery has never been taken out. Yeah, it's a nice piece to have on your shelf if that's your bag. This box tends to be in my storage space, but it's beautiful and it feels really nice to touch. I don't know if it's rose petal, I'm not sure, but it's lovely. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. That was the second deck. Then the third deck that I purchased was the Cosmic CUNT Tarot. You'll notice that Samantha Rook was once called Samantha West. Their name's been changed. This is the inside of this box. We've got this beautiful lime green. And all the decks I'm showing today are Rockpool decks. Okay, then we've got Foragers Tarot. This was the next one into my collection. This is also an indie deck called Penelope's Tarot. Love the colour palette of this deck, and I especially love the inside of the box with this hot pink. It's gorgeous. And then finally, the latest one into my collection is the Sweet Foragers Tarot. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's beautiful. So there we go. That is what to expect if you purchase one of these decks. I've got to say that I personally prefer this size of box. I think these are great. I'm just going to show you the guidebooks actually as well. We're going to go more into the guidebooks in part 3 of this little mini series. But I really like it that the cards and the guidebook fit into these little boxes, and they're really easy to store. I really enjoy that. So that was those 3. Let's pop those out of the way for a wee second. Oopsie, knocking bits and pieces over at the same time. And we've got the Rainbow Moon Tarot with the guidebook. And finally, see if I can fit all this in frame. The Macabre Tarot with the guidebook. The same again, it's got this, it's a really nice sensation to kind of touch the book. It's very bizarre. I can't believe I just said that out loud. Anyway, that's that. So those are the packagings. Let's jump into the majors. And as if by magic. So there we have it. Sweet Foragers Tarot, Foragers Tarot, the Cosmic CUNT Tarot, the Macabre Tarot, and the Rainbow Moon Tarot. Full disclosure, the Rainbow Moon Tarot is my, I'm going to say soul deck. I love it. The Macabre Tarot I've worked with a lot. I usually pair it with the Reclaim Oracle, but I tend to read the Macabre Tarot more intuitively, so I don't particularly go to the guidebook for this one. The Cosmic CUNT Tarot, I pretty much purchased it because I was, intrigued. I'd already owned these 2, really enjoyed working with them, so I really wanted to own this one as well, but I haven't worked with it at all. Valoria's Tarot came in maybe a month and a half ago, so I haven't worked with this one. This is the Sweet Foragers Tarot, which came in maybe a couple of weeks ago, and this is my November deck that I'm working with. I'm working with it currently, right at this moment, pretty much actually earlier on before I started this video. Actually, I was working with this deck. So anyway, this is the gilding for the Foragers Tarot. Beautiful lime green gilding. Let's pop these so you can see the images. Valoria's Tarot has this beautiful hot pink gilding out of the box. Oopsie, let's grab that card as well. Leave no man behind, or lady, or person. The Cosmic CUNT Tarot is also gilded in lime green. It's gorgeous. The Macabre Tarot, gilded in gold. Now, I've used this a lot, and I would say that it hasn't, flaked or been damaged, so it's pretty good gilding. It doesn't hurt my hands, FYI. And then finally we've got the Rainbow Moon Tarot, which is my favourite gilding. It's got this rainbow gilding, which is just gorgeous. Love it. Let's show you the pictures because obviously you're ready. Okay, so we're starting off with the Majors and the Fool. So just worthy to note, all the cards are numbered, which are not in Roman numerals, which I appreciate, and they're all titled. Good to note as well, these two are limited coloured palettes, even the third one here, and these two are very, very colourful. So with that being said, we're going to dive straight in. I've got to say I really appreciate the Sweet Foragers Tarot's take on this Fool card. I like it that this person is, they might just popping out to do something from their home. So the Fool moment doesn't have to be this epic leap of faith off of a mountain or a cliff. It can just be that you're going out, on whichever day, and your epic Fool journey could start. And I like that take on that. The same with this one. I think that's pretty cool. I also appreciate this one. This not giving birth to, but almost rebirth from maybe the old to this new version of self. I like that as well. It's going to be interesting to know how the Macabre Tarot reads as a tarot, when usually I pair it with the Reclaim and read it very intuitively. So this is going to be an interesting exercise, I think. So that was the Fool card. We're moving along to the Magician, obviously. Card number 2. Or sorry, card number 1. What am I saying? What am I talking about? What a nincompoop. Okay, so straight off the bat, I'm going to say that I love the fact this is an older figure in this card, and I love the cat with the wings. That's just too cute. Moving to the Macabre Tarot, this is obviously a bunny, but this card has always read to me as a person in a costume, which speaks to me of this trickster energy of the Magician. And I really appreciate that this trickster energy, this costume. What are they hiding? Why are they hiding behind this mask? Yeah, I really like that. I appreciate that all of the cards have got the tools. So we've got all the symbols that are necessary. Like. I really appreciate Valoria's Tarot, I've got to say as well, for the colour palette and also the clear space around the images. Really appreciate that. So moving on to number 2, the Divine or the High Priestess. We've got a bit of a name change coming up here. We've got the Divine, the High Priestess, and the Divine here. I think the Cosmic CUNT Tarot is quite traditional. We've got this pillar, the symbol of the pillars coming through. We've got obviously the moon symbols in all of the cards. This is a bit of an interesting card, I feel. I get more of an Empress vibe with this card, but it'll be interesting to know what the guidebook says. I haven't pulled this card as yet to know what the guidebook mentions. I really appreciate the phases of the moon here. Interesting. Okay, we're moving on to the Empress, and we've got some name changes again. So we've got the Empress, the Ethereal, and the Creator. I'm going to just mention now that Sam Rook's decks are gender fluid or gender neutral, and a lot of the cards are renamed to reflect the meaning without gender attachment, which I really appreciate. So I really like this. This is a mer person we've got here, and I also appreciate it that None of the figures are pregnant. I like that a lot as well. So yeah, most impressed. And I love that this, in the Macabre Tarot, this figure is holding a heart, and that's fantastic. Okay, moving on to the Emperor card. We've got a few name changes here as well. We've got the Emperor, we've got the Rigid, and we've got a name change here as well. I like it that everyone, or all the figures in their cards have got horns. I especially find it interesting that these two don't have eyes. I think it's also worthy to note that this Emperor doesn't have any eyes either. That's very interesting, I think. And I think it's also interesting that this reminds me of a Viking helmet is actually covering their vision. That's very interesting to me as well. And I really like that this has been renamed to the Rigid, which is, you know, for me quite a shadow aspect of the Emperor being too rigid, too stuck in their ways. So I do appreciate that as well. Okay, so we're on to the Hierophant, card number 5. Sorry, just to straighten the cards up. Apologies for getting in the way of the cards and seeing them. So we've got the Learned, the Hierophant, Rooted, and the Guide. I really appreciate the name changes on these three, I've got to say. Really like that. This is very traditional. I feel this is quite a traditional image where you've got the Hierophant with the audience in front of them. I really appreciate the Learned, I like that, and I really like the Guide as well. Really appreciate that. Okay, we're on to the Lovers, and I do believe the Lovers are all named Lovers. I've just got to say, the Macabre Tarot, I love this version of the Lovers card, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, you know, I'm going to have a bit of a ramble. Why not? I'm doing shadow work at the moment, or have been in October, which I've fondly renamed as Jaded Self Work. And so this really speaks to me of, you know, this two heads or two parts being in the same body, which totally speaks to me of my jaded self. So I really appreciate this card, this Lover's card, which is two heads on the one body, maybe two wills being in one body. I like that. Really appreciate this as well, and this is a very interesting take as well. This Lover's card, I like that. Interesting to know what the guidebook says. We'll get to that in part 3. Okay, we're on to the Chariot. I really enjoy this Chariot, just for the fact of the colours. I think I love it. Love it. This is too cute. Love the fact that it's this big old snail, pink snail. God, I love that. And I love this as well. This person being, what's the word? Can't think of a better word. Zapped up into this spaceship. Love it. Okay, Strength. So we've got Strength on all of the cards. Love the snake energy. This, I'm totally petrified of snakes, so this totally speaks to me of, you know, facing and overcoming fears. I really like that. You know, taming the wild and yeah, taming your fears. I really enjoy that. Love this kitty cat, and this person gives me a total 60s vibe with the dress, with the way they're dressed. I feel that this is a very interesting choice for a Strength card. An owl, that's very interesting. Which to me speaks of, you know, the inner wisdom. I also think it's very interesting that this person's wearing an eye patch. And this, I don't know if this is crystals around their shoulders, I'm not too sure. I haven't pulled this card yet, so I can't tell you what the guidebook says either. But we'll get to that, we'll get to it. Okay, moving on to the Hermit. We've got all the cards named as the Hermit. This is interesting. We've got 3 lanterns in the Valoria, Rainbow Moon and Macabre Tarot. I really appreciate this Hermit card, I've got to say. This totally speaks to me of being in hermit mode. And I really appreciate this third eye reference, that the third eye is lighting or illuminating the path for the Hermit. I like that a lot. Really like that. Okay, so we're on to the Wheel, card number 10. My plan is just to, you know, share my thoughts as and when they kind of pop into my head and when I notice things. And, you know, mention any name changes. If I do forget any name changes, you know, shout at the screen. Hopefully I'll hear you and remember to to let you know. Okay, so we're on to Justice. Love this. This totally gives me a Jackie O feel, you know, with the dress. It gives me a late 50s, early 60s kind of vibe going on there. Interesting that we've got the scales in 3 of the cards, well, even in the 4th actually. And the Sweet Foragers Tarot, there are no scales. It's this warrior figure. It almost reads to me that they're going to inflict justice themselves. Or inflict, maybe that's the wrong word. But this is very interesting. Yes, I like that. Okay, moving on to the Hanged one, or the Hanged Man, or the Hanged Person. Let's see what the cards are named as. We've got the Hanged Man, Hanged, the Hanged, and Hanged. Now, the Foragers Tarot and the Rainbow Moon Tarot are a little bit similar with the fact that you've got this person suspended and almost there's still this movement going on, this graceful movement, which is very interesting. I think these two speak to me of being graceful in this moment of surrender or stillness. That's interesting. This just makes me giggle because I love the tail. And this person with their hands they're just, you know, totally letting go. Yeah, I really appreciate these two, I've got to say. It gives you a kind of a different insight, you know, looking at the same card from different decks. It gives you a totally different insight into the meaning of that one card. I think this is a really great exercise, personally. To do. It'll be interesting to do it with other decks that are not by the same creator, that you know, maybe are totally different themes or genres. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to the Death card. So we've got Death in all of the cards. I've got to say, I just love the Death is dressed in this beautiful, beautiful dress with this little necklace around the neck. I think that's totally cool. I love this, that the skeleton here is immersed in water. I really like that. And you've got the mushrooms and the flowers growing off of the decaying bones. Love, love, love. I'm in a death year at the moment in 2023. And I'm definitely seeing the effects of that in this year. Okay, Temperance. This is my the card that never sticks in my brain. The meaning of this card never ever sticks. Doesn't matter how many guidebooks I read. Doesn't matter how many times I look at, you know, the meaning. It just does not stick. So I don't have a lot to say about Temperance because what can I tell you? I can't tell you anything really. This is very interesting. This leakage from the eyes and the mouth, and obviously from the filling the cup from the head. That's interesting. This to me feels quite traditional, this movement from one cup to the other, and even here. Onto the Devil. Now, I quite like the Devil card, I've got to say. I've been working with the Devil card quite a lot recently, so this is going to be interesting what the takes are on these Devil cards. This feels quite traditional to me, with the Devil having the 2 figures chained up and being in command of the 2 figures that are chained to them. This is interesting. We've got the chaining here as well. I like this one, that the chain is actually between the 2 hands, although this looks like they are the Devil figure themselves. I really appreciate that take. This traditional Devil imagery kind of speaks to me of somebody else holding those chains or holding those bonds, whereas this feels like you're keeping yourself in that comfort zone and keeping yourself chained or bonded. That's interesting. This is also very interesting, I think. Isn't this called a laurel? Maybe it's not called a laurel, but this totally reminds me of the 6 of Wands with the accomplishment and the success, which is obviously around this, I'm going to call it a devil figure, or, you know, but it kind of feels that it's mirroring this chain that's going around the top of the head. Interesting to know what the guidebook says about that as well. Okay. Okay, my favourite card coming up, which is the Tower card. Do love me a good Tower card. Gonna just say straight off the bat, I love this Tower card from the Macabre Tarot. I like it that it feels like a haunted house or a haunted mansion, and you can see all the cracks showing in the structure. I like this as well. Same again. It feels like, you know, this dilapidated, is that the right word? I hope so. Building has, you know, finally caught fire and is going to be, you know, crumbling down. I like this tower. This feels like this could be, this is a moment that could have been possibly avoided had the person had more foresight and more focus. I like that. We've got some small cracks showing in this tower here in the Foragers Tarot. And this card I really appreciate as well, because this totally gives me a different take on these tower cards, whereby this is quite traditional with the lightning striking the treehouse. These kind of speak to me of that these tower moments had, you know, had we had focus on what was happening, we could have prevented them. This speaks to me of an unexpected event occurring with the lightning. You know, there was no foreseeing it. It just happened. It was just an unfortunate incident that happened that, you know, nobody could have prevented. But these feel a bit more like, you know, having a, you know, more, I'm going to use the word focus again. Having more focus would have possibly foreseen the problems coming. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, on to the Star card. Do we have any renames? I don't think so. I think it's the star in all of them. It is. I really appreciate this this take on it. This gives me a total Medusa vibe, which totally makes sense if you know the mythology around Medusa, with the healing and the hope. I love this, and I appreciate this. This is an older figure again. I love that. Gorge, 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 gorge. Onto the moon. Okay, I love these. I think they're so cute. This again gives me a quite traditional feel. This is a bit freaky, and I've noticed the constellations here, which I've never thought about before, and I would be interested to know if that relates to the astrological symbol of the moon card. That'd be interesting to know as well. I've got so many things to look up and to you know reference in the guidebook now. This is a great exercise. I should do this more often. Yeah, I've got the sun. Quite similar images here, I feel, although this sun feels quite mischievous. Love the reference to the third eye here. This is just freaky, I think. But a freaky sun card, that's fine. Okay, Judgment. We've got 2 cards left. Judgment. So we've got trumpets in all of the cards apart from the Cosmic CUNT Tarot. This is kind of mimicking this card with the hands reaching upwards or, you know, towards this winged figure. That's interesting. And finally, we have the World card. Whoopsie. Let's do that and that and that. This was quite traditional. Here we've got, this is an interesting take as well. So there we go. Yeah, those were the majors. Sweet Foragers, Foragers, Cosmic CUNT, Macabre Tarot, and even Rainbow Moon Tarot. So thank you for coming along on this journey with me. I hope it's been illuminating and interesting. Part 2 is coming up very, very soon. I'm going to just let you in a little secret that part 1.5 is also coming out very soon. And we're going to be looking to connect with the majors with a little exercise or possibly a little activity or game. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. Until the next time, I'm going to thank you very much for watching and spending some time with me. Have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care and hope to see you for the next video. Toodaloo.